This is a tour of the Rainbow Ranch Garden, July 17th, 2014. Starting out here on the patio. Got some tomatoes started in these larger pots, some flowers. Roma tomatoes coming on well there with some peppers. This is our newest garden addition. It's about a 1-yard box made out of cedar, treated with a wood preservative, iron sulfate, ferrous sulfate, that's not toxic to humans, and it stains the cedar wood that nice gray color, and it's going to help keep fungus and rot. Going to make it last longer. In it there's more of the rainbow chard, yellow chard, white chards, and here's fava bean and butter beans. This is chard and collard greens. Back up in there, that's a new garden up there this year too. Are more squash, probably a dozen squash plants up there, real small. They don't get as much sunlight as they should be getting. Probably some of that is shaded by the trees up ahead above it. But they're in good compost, and we'll see how they do there. This is a flower garden. Really pretty this year that got compost. More tomatoes in planters here in these 2-gallon planters. That's an old shredder bin that I wanted to repurpose and not throw that away. Put a plant in it. Some more lavender, loganberries. See if that loganberry can grow. Doesn't seem like it's growing very fast. Really slow this year. This is the bottom of a garbage can that the parrots chewed a hole in the bottom of it. Put a rock over that hole, drill a bunch of more holes in it, and you get a place for 4 plants. And you can see that perlite right on the surface of the earth in that planter. Good repurposing of it. Raspberries. There's still a few more raspberries coming. All green yet. Not many. Just about done with raspberries this year. Always producing good in this crop here. Last 6 years, this thing just keeps making raspberries. Really nice. This is our strawberry patch back here. Right here, all the elephant garlic's been already taken out. Red onions in here. Some peppers, and what they look like when... That's what they look like when a slug or somebody's trying to eat them. So I'm going to have to get out the secret weapon, neem oil. Neem oil is made from a tree that is common in India and Pakistan, the neem tree. People actually drink the oil and cook with it and use it as medicinal purposes, but it drives away insects. It keeps off the soft body insects like aphids and slugs, which are the 2 most common problems we've got here. By golly, we've got some peppers coming right now. They're going to be pretty good. That could be a jalapeno maybe, or ancho. Got all these are peppers in here. Big Bertha pepper. What's that going to be? We've had chocolate peppers before, yellow banana peppers, yellow wax peppers. And they do pretty good here. One of the secrets is in the early season when you put them out, and they're just little small plants like that one, and he starts to bud and starts to have flowers, nip them off when they're little so that he'll grow big like this without working on his fruit. And he gets a lot more foliage, and then starts to produce fruit through these, starts to flower. All those little knobs are the buds, flower, and then we start to get fruit. So we're starting to see some peppers coming. That's very good. Here's our tomato patch. There's 11 tomato here, 11 tomato plants. I take it back. There's 13 tomato plants in this bed, plus back what's on the porch. Here's a kind of tomato that's a sun gold, which is terrific tasting sweet cherry tomato. Some bigger tomatoes. I don't know the names of all these things. I can't remember. Look, there's some sweet 100s right back there. That needs to be harvested. Gonna get after them, and you can just see these vines are loaded with tomatoes, and they are coming on. And some more of those sun golds are really terrific. We've already got a couple of these heirloom tomatoes off of there. They taste have a meaty like texture. Not like a tomato. None of these taste anything like a tomato from the grocery store. Remember, the tomatoes from the grocery store are picked when they're green. They ripen in the box. They ripen when they're coming. Is that a robin sitting right there? And that robin loves to eat those blueberries. Let's see if he's going to get some. They really do. Oh yeah, he's going to get right after him. Jumped right down in there. See him back in there? So we're not going to get many blueberries this year. I think the robins are getting them. So we could put a net over it, but I noticed 2/3 of them are gone already before they even ripen. We got some Roma tomatoes back here. Almost ripe too. Really good looking there. Some more big ones up in there. More larger tomatoes here, and these are going to ripen. This is just mid-July, so we're going to have a heck of a crop. So the trick with these things is getting a way to support them. So I strung up a bunch of line, and we can support these plants going upwards as they get up. Good looking crop there. And this is a bunch of Brussels sprouts. Now they're going to go all the way up into September or October. Actually, they say that they're going to like the first freeze. They want to have a good freeze on them, and that kind of locks in the sweetness of it. You can tell what these are if you look at the right there where the stalk joins the branch. You just start to see the little Brussels sprouts are starting to form, little tiny baby Brussels sprouts, and they'll get, you know, 1.5 inches in diameter, and that's where you get them. You can buy them the whole stalk in the store, or you can just grow them yourself. Now we're into some squash. All kinds of them coming in here. Don't even know the names of some of these, like this light green one. I don't even know the name of that. These things are getting big. Some of them are bigger than a football now. Yellow winter squash here. They're winter squash. I think they're called winter squash because they're going to last a long time into the winter, because their skin is thick instead of the thin straight squash or straight neck squash that are really great to eat the skin and all on them when they're small. Those winter squash will last longer. They're gonna, if you can keep them from having a nick in them and store them in a cool place, they'll stay till February, March. Look out in the garage maybe. So there's some example of that small straight neck. Dice that thing up and serve that up. That's a treat. We do have some. There's an acorn squash right there. So we got a big variety of those in here. We probably got 5 kinds. Here's one of the larger ones right there. That thing is getting pretty big. Decided to put a fence up this year. See if I could get them to train up. And the matter, it's just getting the ends of the runners, like this thing right here. Tuck that back through the fence, and that way he'll grow and be supported if he does produce some fruit or vegetable. Got rows and rows of these things. Squash coming on. We've already harvested 2 big boxes, vegetable boxes out of here, and they're coming pretty nice. The little maple tree that Annie stuck in a pot. Pretty cool, huh? It looks like it's gonna go. That one, no, but that one is the same kind as this big one up here. And it looks like that's gonna be a good little tree. There's Ganesh. And our bench. Get these gladdies here. Pretty, huh? Yeah. More squash. Got these guys going up on the trellis. Look at that runner coming out the end right there. I tied up some the other day, last week when we had some 90-degree weather, and so I could tell where it was measured from. The next day, it had grown 14 inches. One day, 14-inch growth on one of the runners. Another Japanese maple, lace maple here. Pole. These are bush beans, flowering still. A little bit of bug damage on them. Artichoke. That artichoke is perennial. It's been coming up for 6 years. Here's a type of pickling cucumber. And they're coming along really nicely too. And we already got one out of there, and I threw it in the pickle jar. Let's see if they'll... Look at that guy right there. He's about ready to put in the pickle jar just as it is. I have to take that one out of here. Got some peppers coming. Here's another little pepper plant with a pepper on it. Snow peas, just about done, but I do see a few more on there. And once they turn, they're getting turned brown, so they're done. But some of the green ones are still going to produce. Here's lettuce, more peppers. That squash from a different angle. Isn't that amazing? Some of those leaves are 18 inches across. They're huge. It's all just a mess of squash up underneath of them there. This bed's been harvested of spuds, and we've still got 5 plants, 5 mounds still going, and they'll produce. There's a volunteer squash that just keep coming up. So that already gave us 40 pounds of potatoes. And here's another bed of potatoes, and we're running out some of those early red potatoes and some of the golden yellow potatoes. This year we didn't buy any potato starts. All these came up from last year. They're all volunteers. Because you're bound to miss some. And some of the potatoes, if they are sun damaged and they turn green, you're not supposed to eat them because they will concentrate some kind of a toxin in there of the green potatoes. So just poke them back down in the earth, and they're likely to come up and produce again next year, or get that second crop like we've got going over here. Now that bed could be planted with a short crop. We could plant beans in there, pole beans, bush beans maybe, certainly lettuce. Grows very rapidly, especially with this weather. Here's another garlic bed of small garlics. They've all been harvested because once they turn yellow and they're starting to turn yellow, it's time to harvest them. And here's what the elephant garlic looked like right there in that other bed. Pretty big and tall. We'll just leave that one there and let it see what it looks like. Here's a bed of really nice red plant. I can't remember what they're called. I always have to look them up. Bulbs. Probably take that bed out this coming next year and put some food in there. We'll figure out where those guys can go. Some more different kinds of lettuce growing right here. Sure makes a great meal when you can come out here, pick your fresh lettuce, put some of those snow peas in there, and some pepper or tomato, a little bit of fresh onion. You got yourself a nice garden salad right out of the garden. Eat that every day in some form or another. We also cook the greens, and that's good eating. This time of year is really good eating. Squash coming out our ears, spuds. This is another bed of spuds right here. Getting close to harvest time for that one. Just about done. As these things start coming up, back in March, they started breaking ground. And there's even some from the up above part of the garden, and I just kept digging them up and moving them down into one bed. They're still coming up, almost like weeds.